Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored by Spiegel Law PC, 5168-731-683, and by Tiffany Dry Cleaners, our friends at I&D Glot Market. And we're pleased to announce Reister's Bakery, your favorite bakery, has now joined our sponsorship. Welcome to them. And here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Dan. And hey, Norm, what's going on?
A lot going on. It was a busy week.
Yeah, busy week and amazing weather.
Knicks games, you know.
Knicks, Rangers, wow. This is, the show will never end. So let's just dive into the school board meetings and where we are. There was a meeting earlier this week. So there was a couple of things going on at the meeting. First of all, it was pretty well attended. They talked about the $77 million budget that got passed. Again, they hammered right away the 5% increase in transportation. That's a recurring theme that goes on all the time. Talked about a 1.2 million increase in medical insurance. Transportation is up like 140% over the last few years. So again, transportation. Tax levy is, West Hempstead is somewhere in the middle, so they're kind of, saying that we're not too high, not too low, we're right in the middle. And 95% of 95% of the students are graduating, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I think it may be up 1% from last year. For some reason I remember 94%, but I could be wrong. So then when they asked for questions, first they went to the board. Bert Blast started off with a question, and basically the gist of the question was that you had $15 million in reserve. $3.8 million are being sucked down this year. There's a whole bunch that's going to go next year. And so we're basically looking at over $9 million in 2 years. And his question is, what is the plan beyond 2025? Because at the end of the day, the reserves are going to be sucked down, and there really does not seem to be a plan as to what you do beyond that.
So this is America in general. The United States plans year to year. Sometimes you get a 5-year plan, maybe, in the governments. That's city, state, and federal. You talk about the Chinese, they talk about 20-year plans. I mean, this just doesn't happen in America. And we have to be thinking about it here in West Hempstead because we're draining down our reserves. And at some point in time, we're going to be in trouble. So we need to figure it out.
Yeah, and Dan Raymond mentioned that they're looking at other sources of revenue, although they didn't specifically go into it. They're also looking at how to reduce the busing costs and the medical insurance, but these are sunk costs, and they're only increasing, so something's got to give.
The busing's a big deal because they go out for bids and they get one bid. So this thing is rigged. One guy answers, that's the one they have to take, and it's expensive. It's always going to be more expensive.
Yeah, and the thing is, as we've talked about a million times, is the demographics of town right now. We're looking at the fact that it's only going to increase of kids going outside of the district to go to school.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that piece of it changes, which means if the costs on the gas and whatever else in the contract and the rest of it, we're facing this for a good long time looking ahead.
Yeah, and also David Lazar mentioned that I think there's an additional draw to charter schools that really goes beyond some of our basic understanding. And what is the impact of charter schools? What is their role? How does the monies go back and forth? Again, I don't really know, but I know that's certainly part of the issues.
Well, as busing goes, the only thing they can do is buy their own buses, hire their own people. Other than that, I don't see any other way of saving money.
Norm, do you have your bus license? Because I'm really ready to go out there.
I was actually offered a job to drive the bus.
Right.
Are you available mornings, Norm?
Did we have to win Lotto for this to happen? I just want to...
I'll pay for the buses for Lotto. Get me the Lotto ticket.
Right, but look, we do have to think about the fact that, then there's maintenance costs.
Yeah.
Then there's hiring and firing and keeping track of all these guys. Then there's pension. I don't know if there's pensions on a lot of these guys, maybe aren't full-time enough. But at the end of it, you're really just trading one concern for a different. I'm not so sure that solves it. Dave, was there any conversation you had at all with the candidates running? Did anything come up there?
So not directly, but Aaron Zelig, who's running for one of the seats, he raised a question regarding the universal pre-K, and basically the gist of the question was that he feels that there were a total of 90 seats that were available for UPK and only 75 were filled, and kind of like what happened to the missing numbers. And there seems to be some dispute from the school board side as to even what where he's drawing the numbers from. He was dismissed, rather quickly, and they kind of moved on. They didn't really dive into his questions. But he's running for school board, and he's going to ask the tough questions, and
that's pretty much the last meeting for the school board. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the last meeting until the May 21st elections. But we did get this flyer for the school board candidates forum, which is going to be taking place Thursday, May 16th at 8:30, and it's at the Young Israel. Here's the question. I don't know if all the candidates are showing up. I don't know if just 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. I asked a question, didn't get an answer. I'm even not exactly sure why it's in the Young Israel, West Hempstead.
Right. I don't think it should be in a synagogue or a church. It should be in the library.
Library or Veterans Hall or some neutral. It's a civic issue.
It belongs in a civic environment.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge. So, again, May 21st, get out and vote. Dad, you want to go do your shtick about people not voting?
I'm going to lose it again. Every single year, people start complaining and kvetching, and they're not happy. Listen, this is on you. Last year, again, the first vote, I think there was 2,700 people turned out when I think there's there are 15,000 eligible voters in town. This is on you, voters. If you want something specific, if one of these candidates speaks better to you than something else, you get out there and vote. Don't complain to us when it comes back that the budget passed and you're not happy about it. And again, 30% of the town turns out and vote. Don't get me started on this again.
This is probably a good time to take a break.
Yeah, I think Dan's got to relax.
Yeah, let him cool down.
Yeah.
Tiffany Dry Cleaner is ready to handle all your cleaning, laundering, and dry cleaning needs. We offer free pickup and delivery Sunday to Friday in all communities. Give us a shot.
And we're back. Newsday had a quick article as we were talking about the school board that Nassau County ranks 56 out of 62 counties in New York with school cafeteria inspection. I don't even know what to make of this. I was never really a big fan of cafeteria school food, but I guess this just bears out the fact that you eat at your own risk.
Bring your own lunch is what it says.
Yeah, and let's jump over to the Capri Motel. So the Capri Motel is back in the news. The town of Hempstead was looking for residents to give suggestions. And it sounds like the town of Hempstead has their own suggestion.
They're looking for a recreation center. It's a great idea, I think. I mean, we don't really have anything. There is one near Stop and Shop, but that's not actually run by the county or the town. It's a private venture. So, I'm sure the kids would love to play hockey and basketball indoors, and why not?
Yeah, the more I think about it, it really is an exciting concept. And Echo Pool Park Complex has a couple of things, but they're really it's really based on the pool, and it's very, very limited. The idea of having something that's available to all community members is really exciting.
Really, it is a good idea.
Yeah. So I'm going to just raise at least one concern here, since we saw what happened with the pool and 10 years to fix it or whatever it is. I wonder about what happens if this is a town-run exercise to get the land set up, to do the building, obviously to administer it once after, that's fine. I'm just concerned that where a private developer would get this done in the space of, whatever it is, a year and a half or 2 years, I'd be concerned that the town is going to take a lot longer. We'll be sitting there staring at a hole in the ground for, 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah, it's very well possible, but even as Norm pointed out last week, getting public space back into the community is really, really hard.
Right.
So if there is an opportunity to do it, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Yeah. We haven't really, it's just talk at this point, but I think if they can lean into it, sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I think so.
So this past Sunday, there was Yom HaShoah, which is Holocaust Commemoration Day. and there were events going all around the community, right, Norm?
Well, I was at the one at the JCC, which was really well done, unbelievable, actually. Nancy Spielberg spoke about some of the films she's been working on, spoke about her family, about how not only her brother, I mean, just really the whole family is into Holocaust remembrance, and how she grew up and it became part of who they are. And then Anthony D'Esposito was there, and he spoke about his support for the Jewish community, how he's fighting anti-Semitism on the congressional floor. So yeah, it was very meaningful. And of course, at the Young Israel, they had their annual Yom HaShoah program as well with witnesses. So
Yep. I was actually there doing the recording for them. Lisa Baer, who is a survivor, told her story. Amazing story how somehow they managed to leave Germany in 1940, by which point Jews getting out was pretty surprising, and really, really well attended, and I thought she did a wonderful job.
Yeah, so...
It's an amazing time in American history for the Jewish community, you know, to be hearing what we're hearing out in the public, and then to looking back at how bad things can actually get if you let things get out of control.
You know, so Norm, on a lighter note, this coming Sunday is Mother's Day,
right.
And
Danish Day, right?
Danish Day, and you know, what better way to start Mother's Day than to go to Restorers and to get those fresh rolls coming right out of the oven, to get the fresh Danishes, and I wish we had some right now, and we'd be just diving into it. And you know, it's really, really exciting. You got Father's Day coming up in June, but first, don't forget Mom. Go to Restorers, support local community locations, and you know, we're just so lucky to have them in the community.
Yes.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for this week in West Hempstead. I want to thank you, Dan. I want to thank you, Norm. Go out and vote, and it's really, really important. And we'll see you next week on This Week in West Hempstead.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would like to sponsor our program, much like Spiegel Law, Tiffany Dry Cleaners, I&D Glot Market, and our new sponsor, Restorers Bakery, please reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.
Welcome to I&D Glot. We love our customers. We have the freshest produce. We have all the groceries you need. We have the best cuts of beef, veal, lamb, chicken for the best price. And of course, a bakery department with all fresh cookies, cakes, and freshest bakery item. And of course, with a takeout department with delicious food. If you need to place an order, do it online. We'll deliver it to you, or come into the store and shop. We can't wait to see you.